So you're thinking about moving to Toronto from other cities in Canada or from outside of Canada to Toronto. One of the questions that we regularly get is what is the difference between Uptown neighborhoods in Toronto and Midtown neighborhoods in Toronto? Today, we are going to explore North York area, which is one of the Uptown neighborhoods. Actually, I started my career in 2002 right here in North York with the developer named Shane Baghai. So I know a lot about the developments here, the neighborhoods around North York area. North York is actually known as the other downtown, and it has a lot to offer, from parks to great schools, shopping centers, and neighborhoods that are very well developed. Today, I'm going to take you around to just show you a few samples of North York. North York is fabulously multicultural. This is where people from China, Iran, India, Korea, all different countries, the new Canadians often come to settle. I think one of the reasons is because of the vastness of North York, the availability of real estate properties, from very small condos all the way to huge homes, multi-million-dollar homes in the Millionaire Mile. You can find it here. So I just walked into a 600 square feet apartment in Harrison Garden, North York, just to show you a starting point for people that just want to get into a condo market. This is 600 square feet approximately. The price is $529,000, so roughly $850 per square foot. It's a well-facilitated building, roughly 10 years old, well built, it's well priced, and the size is manageable for a small family. With beautiful views all around, you can see that it's greens everywhere. So overall, the price is right. So this is an example of what you can get in this neighborhood. So it's kind of facing the highway down there, but looking outside, you can see a lot of beautiful green neighborhoods in North York, which again, for a small apartment, a starter, it can work. So North York communities and neighborhoods were developed by developers, and the communities basically went up all at once. Unlike the Midtown neighborhoods that were developed around the historic buildings and around the existing homes that were there, the communities were built so as to preserve the characters of those historic neighborhoods, which we don't see in North York because this is all relatively new. So I thought it would be a good idea to also take a look at a couple of townhomes in North York. This is a great townhouse in the Harrison Garden area done by Tridel. It's $1.799 for over 2,200 square feet, so it comes to $800 per square feet approximately. The townhouse is in great shape, even though it's been built for 10 years. It's in fantastic shape. For families, ideal. It's in 4 stories, beautiful bathrooms and walk-in closet, everything that you would need for a young family. It's a corner unit, parks everywhere. So this is a step up with regard to the affordability, but what it comes with is plenty. So usually when you walk into a townhouse, normally the first thing you see is the staircase. And what I don't like in many townhomes is I walk in and I see all these stairs going up and going down, very narrow. This one is quite nice because it's a corner unit. It is great value when you consider it's around $800 per square foot. And you literally walk out, there is a park on the left, and Yonge and Shepherd area on the right side, walking distance. There are plenty of schools around. So Harrison Garden are great value for people that are looking for a family area, all these condos and townhomes are great options if you're looking into getting into the market, and particularly if your work is in North York area, they become a great option. Because if your work is here, your kids can go to school here. There are many great public and private schools. So lots of reasons to consider this property and in general, the North York area. One of the unique factors about North York is just great public schools. Public schools here are actually known, particularly the public high schools. Anything from Catholic schools to art schools to university campuses and colleges. North York has a great variety. And kids. As you can see, kids are everywhere. So North York is also very appealing to families. So if you're looking for yet another step up from what we saw at Harrison Garden, we are now at the St. Gabriel complex, one of the townhomes. Let's go in and see what's going on. This townhouse speaks loudly about quality and unique features. For example, the elevator. Everything from marble floors to granite countertops, top-of-the-line appliances from the very beginning, and hardwood flooring. Everything speaks quality and also longevity. That's one thing that we look for. So Maria and I always look for properties that we know that they would sustain their value or grow in value over time. And this one is definitely one of those properties. This property is around 2,200 square feet. The price is $1,929. Approximately it would come to around $850 per square foot in 4-story, 3 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, a beautiful backyard with a barbecue and 2 underground parkings. Very well equipped for someone who doesn't necessarily wants to buy a detached home. And in terms of luxury and quality, I mean, look at it, you cannot go wrong. So walking in here in this townhouse, it's like walking down the memory lane for me. Maria and I were involved in every single one of these units, townhomes and the apartment buildings. I was the designer on site and Maria was doing the sales. So all the finishes here, this is so typical Shane Baghai. Marble floors, cove lighting, beautiful Italian kitchen. Quality is like #1 priority for this developer. And as you can see, even after so many years, because these were completed around 2009, the buildings, both apartments and townhomes, they literally look brand new. We used to have a saying, if you want to have longevity with your real estate in this area, try Dell and Shane Baghai. So St. Gabriel Village is another example of cluster of buildings all went up at the same time, more or less, that created a community. And as I mentioned before, most of North York is like that. The neighborhoods and communities are developed very quickly together and basically created this little clusters of condos in different areas. St. Gabriel Village is the highly customized cluster and the biggest customized development in all of Canada. I know that very well because, as I mentioned before, Maria and I were involved in every single one of these units, either selling, designing. We were there at the sales office in 2008. Maria sold so many of these units, and a lot of people actually in these buildings, they still know her name. And I was the designer. So when it comes to the layouts, the views, the quality, all of that, we are the experts of the St. Gabriel Village. So if you're interested in North York area, we do that too. So contact us. All of our information is below, and we would be delighted to show you some of the work that we were actually a part of. There are plenty of shopping centers in North York area. But to name a few major ones is Yorkdale Mall, one of my favorites, because honestly, the brands that you see in Yorkdale Mall, some of them you don't see anywhere else. And then we have the beautiful Bayview Village, smaller, more intimate, but still a great shopping center. And then Fairview Mall, which is more kind of on the east side. So I started the video mentioning that people often ask us, what is the difference between Uptown, places like North York, and Midtown? So they also want to know, what do I think? What do I prefer? So it depends. It all depends. The answer to that is, where do you work? Number one criteria is work location, because traffic in Toronto is crazy. So it depends on what kind of vibe you would like as well, because obviously a place like North York has a completely different vibe than the Midtown Toronto. Everything in North York area has a more kind of a suburban feel to it. So if you're looking for heritage, architecture that is older, the streets that are covered with small shops that are actually part of heritage buildings, then definitely Midtown and certain parts of downtown would be preferable. Lifestyle, lifestyle, lifestyle. There is not one formula for everyone. It depends what an individual likes. But in all honesty, I am a Midtown woman. I like the heritage. I like the history behind most of the shops that are in Yonge and Summerhill, Rosedale area or Annex area. I like that vibe. I want to be walking distance to some of the top restaurants in all of Canada. I enjoy that. So for me, living in Midtown Toronto is like every day being on vacation. Everything I like to see anywhere in Europe, I can find little bits and pieces of it here. But that is my preference. That doesn't mean that it's good for everyone. I also like North York very much, and not only that, I'm very knowledgeable, both Maria and myself, about North York. I started in North York, so we are extremely switched on about what works and doesn't work in North York area. So we showed you today some of the highlights of what North York offers, and we will have many other videos about different neighborhoods in Toronto. Thank you very much everyone for watching, and see you next time.